What is up, everybody? Today is not a Counter-Strike video. Today I thought it'd be a good idea for me to make a video about what happened to MattCS, because the truth is I actually owe a lot of my life, my current life, to YouTube. YouTube was the first thing in my life that actually made a major shift towards the trajectory of my future. And it is because of YouTube that I got to enjoy the things that I love most. Essentially, YouTube was the first time in my life that I've experienced success from putting in my own work. And I can't open this coffee thing. I had been doing YouTube for a very long time. I started my first channel around the age of 11, but I never found any success in any channels until I was 17, which is when I started my study. I started a study at a school for audiovisual specialization. And that basically is video and photography. When I started that, I also started my YouTube channel that is now named MattCS with 380,000 subscribers. Back then it was called Pixel Hero. I don't know, for whatever reason I decided to switch it out. Now we have Own a Pixel, which is pretty cool. But my channel name was called Pixel Hero back in the day. If you know about that, that is crazy OG. Fast forward about 1 year into that study and I was starting my internship. That internship was the moment I realized I knew exactly what I did not want to do, which is very important for me to know what I did want to do, which was YouTube. From that moment on, after that internship, I realized I gotta really go all in because I don't really have anything else that is for me. YouTube and content creation has been this one thing, this one thread throughout my whole life that I've always been all in on. Just making videos, making content, trying to entertain people. It's always been there for me. So having done that internship and realizing whatever I saw that happened there was not for me. In short, working for that company that I was at for my internship was making company videos and pretty much doing a lot of corporate work. And that wasn't really for me. So YouTube started blowing up. I had one video completely go viral about my VAC ban being removed at the time, which was pretty awesome. And it is a true story. So that video blew up. I kind of doubled down on it. I made some more videos about it. And I started making more videos regarding Counter-Strike. And for the next 3 to 4 years, I really went all in on YouTube and I dropped out of school. I dropped out of my second year of college and decided to go all in on YouTube to take a gap year. It was pretty easy to convince my mom and my dad about that because they supported me in whatever I wanted to do. So I decided to go full-time on YouTube. And I could show them the, pay slip that I got from making content, along with the sponsors I had at the time. I got to experience very cool things like going to America for the first time in my life. I met up with my bro Juicy for the first time, back when we were both fatties. And going to America for the first time was super dope. It was kind of like the first time I made it out of the hometown that I'm from. Shortly after that, I moved into my own apartment, not in America, but back in the Netherlands. And I went from there. I started my full-time YouTube career. Now, I think the problem for me was that I had I was completely free at a very young age, like 18, moving out at 18 with pretty much unlimited money to you at that age. Like, what are you gonna spend money on? I kind of got lazy. I would even go some months just uploading one gambling video a month, which would just cover the rent and my groceries. It was a really low output and very high reward time. I would do that and it would basically pay for my entire month, and then I would just sit inside smoking weed, playing games, doing nothing. But I knew that wasn't it. So I had to recoup myself a little bit. And I decided to make some high quality videos about gameplays and funny moments, etc. And this is when my channel really started picking up. From one thing it led to another, the shadow play videos. It went to more like I live streamed a little bit here and there, moving from one apartment to the other. I was around 20 at this time, moving from one apartment to the other. So that was pretty good. I don't think you guys have ever seen that apartment that much. It was one with a mega balcony, and it was not the one where I was sitting in the kitchen, because the one in the kitchen where my setup was in the kitchen. That was the one that was kind of popular, but the one before that was kind of interesting because it was like a penthouse situation, but it was like a split penthouse, and it had a huge balcony, and the living room was one big area, and I split it up with a cabinet where my setup was. Just trying to recall it a little bit, but it was a pretty dope place. But I didn't stay there for too long. I think it was maybe 1.5 years or something. The apartment kind of had a leak, not in terms of like water dripping down, little side tangent, but the air and the warmth would just like flow around the apartment a little bit too much. So I moved to the third apartment, and this is where actually at the second apartment I had like I'd been smoking weed a lot. I was smoking a lot of weed, and that was definitely, to a degree, it was I would say it was good for me in terms of like your creativity. On the other hand, it definitely wasn't good for my mental because I had like a couple panic attacks smoking weed, and that definitely like set me back a lot of like time, I guess, to figure out what happened and, you know, trying to find answers for myself. I got into, you know, a bit more of the spirituality, like, oh, what, like thinking about life and thinking about who I am and what I want to do. And this is like the period that brought me from apartment 2 to apartment 3. And that's the apartment you guys probably know from my videos, where I was sitting in the kitchen. And in this apartment, I kind of like started like searching for myself a bit more. I went on this gym journey. This is where the gym journey started, which was massive in my development. I started doing mushrooms a little bit more, not in like extremely high doses. I would mostly just microdose them and get like a little energy boost from them, but I wouldn't really be tripping on them. The times I was like tripping on them, it was with together with Neok and some other friends. I don't think I've ever done like shrooms on a high dose by myself. So yeah, maybe like once or twice, but nothing crazy. The reason, however, I was doing that was probably just to find something outside of yourself. You know, now looking back at it, not like, oh my God, I'm so old and wise. I'm 26, and when I did these kind of things, I was 20, which is a significant amount of time, especially in your developing age. So around this time, like, I was honestly just being a retard and just trying to find out whatever I wanted to do outside of myself instead of just, you know, sticking to my core, which was YouTube. Like, it was right there the whole time. I got into a little bit of like business, you know. I had the website betrefs.gg, betrefs.com. That website still exists. I don't really do anything too much with it. Maybe I'll pick it back up. But that was like a little fun experiment with business. And before that, I had other businesses that I tried setting up. I had skin-raffle.com, terrible domain, never put a dash in your name. That was going to be a raffle website for skins, super simple. And before that, maybe I tried setting up a like Counter-Strike type casino called 8bit.gg or something along those lines. And that was inspired by csgo-house.com, which was one of the best Counter-Strike casinos ever. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was so much fun. Both of these websites, 8bit.gg and Skin Raffles, didn't work out. But what I wanted to do was start a crypto casino at the age of 22 because I wanted to get really rich. So what I did was I started balancing my life more towards the priority of starting this crypto casino and less towards Counter-Strike YouTube. And I think this was, I wouldn't call it a mistake because looking back at it, I've learned so much from it. This was an interesting time for sure because I learned a lot in business. Unfortunately, the business didn't end up working out and I lost a very significant amount of money. Like pretty much all the money I had worked for YouTube has been put into that project, and I've not taken a single dollar out unless it was for like paying employees or, you know, the upkeep of the company. So that was a big bummer because that didn't only just take a lot of money. A lot of people were involved, and it also took a lot of time. It took a lot of stress. It took a lot of time. I think that definitely aged me a lot. Like, time was moving quick. I was stressed out a lot, and things weren't working out the way I thought they would. And I can't blame myself because I went into that with like not a very big experience in business, you know. Starting a crypto casino is a pretty big task. And having no experience in business from either a school or college background or something like that, or someone in the family who's good at business, you know, you don't have any like guidelines of what to follow. So I had to find all of that out by myself, which I do now have to a certain understanding. Like I do understand business a lot better than before starting this project. But unfortunately, that didn't work out that well for me. In terms of like things learned, sure, it worked out great. But now, after 5 years, I would say it was like 3 to 5, like 4 years or something was like the duration of that project. It was up, it was running, it was working well. It was the name was ebit.gg, and yeah, we had a lot of players on the website too. But eventually, the runtime didn't work out, and then people got involved in the company that shouldn't have gotten involved, and things led from A to B, and things went from one to another, and the company's runway went dry, and eventually we had to shut down. So it's a very unfortunate ending, but bankruptcy is a real thing in startups, and unfortunately it happens. So it is what it is. I lost a lot of money. Other people lost money on that too. But having to close that chapter was definitely very hard for me, you know. A couple months after that, like, I still struggled with it because that project was my all-in. And I had said it before, like, that project is my all-in. Like, I'm putting everything I have into this project, all my time, all my resources, all my effort. I put YouTube aside for this. The money I'd been making from affiliates through BetRefs had been put into this project too. And I'll tell you right away, like, that it was enough money to buy a decent house in the Netherlands. So, like, straight up cash, no mortgage. And I lost all of that over this period of time. So that project being my all-in and not working out was really soul-crushing. And it kind of like pushed me back so far that I didn't even know what I wanted to do. And this was in 2023, 2024. Now we're in 2025, almost 2026. I would say this end was in 2024, by the way. And now I would say like a year later, it was around this time last year, like we're here. I had to figure out a lot of shit. No, it was 2 years ago, bro. Time flies crazy, bro. Time flies like crazy. Yeah, that was actually 2 years ago or something by now. Maybe 1.5 to 2 years ago. Rambling on a little bit, but I'm keeping the video raw, you know? I don't want to cut too much in it. Maybe I've already been cutting a lot. Maybe I have. I like cutting videos up very quickly to get the point across and not get you guys bored. Anyway, that project didn't end up working out for me. I think I took a little hiatus from like all like big business aside, and I started trading meme coins for a little bit. That went surprisingly well because I think trading meme coins is just like a skill game, and it's like kind of like PvPing other traders. So you're just like in a huge battle royale with other traders. That went quite well for me, and I did make some nice money on that, which sustained me for a little bit. But I still had my passive income from the Counter-Strike affiliates, which I do have to this day, and I'm very grateful for that. But that's not what this is about, because, you know, I could technically probably live off affiliates for a very long time, from what I've built with YouTube in the past, and, you know, building up my viewer base and all the affiliates that I have on the websites. You know, they create some sort of a passive income, whether you want to call it passive or not, because I've put in like so many years of content towards that BetRefs platform. That could sustain me for a while, but it wouldn't sustain my soul. And that's kind of like where I'm getting at, because I think with working on a project like a casino, it's like, yeah, you can make a lot of money, and that is quite fulfilling. I would say, like, obviously making money, like, that is super awesome, but it doesn't fulfill your purpose. And your greater purpose is something that you really want to do, like something that you wake up and you really want to start doing. Like today I wake up and I'm like, damn, I want to start making videos, bro. I'm excited to make videos. I'm working on 3 videos today, uploading 1 and editing 2 at the same time, which is probably not that smart to do. Should just focus on 1, but I couldn't stop. So anyway, I knew I needed to get back into YouTube. It was there all this time, right? It was there all this time. And I just sort of gave up on it, which is such a shame. I should have never done that. And I had brief moments where I came back to YouTube too on the MattCS channel. I think I had a period where I came back and I did some bum ass shit, like some working for some casinos or doing some Counter-Strike gambling. And then I was like, you know what, I can do, I'm gonna just make one banger and come back. And a banger making I did. I dropped a video asking 100 strangers for free skins. I think that did like 350,000 views to prove my point that I could still do this shit. And then I disappeared again. Maybe I dropped another video after that and then I disappeared again. Then I came back again with the documentary on the Abai Power story. Trying to get into like, can I do documentaries? Which I could. I mean, that video did pretty decent, like 35,000 views. And then now getting back into YouTube again, it's like, do people still care enough? Are my videos good enough? I don't know, but I'm gonna push through because this time I'm for real. I'm gonna push through and I know I gotta do this because content has always been this thread in my life. Just fulfilled me to a level that no amount of money could ever do. Especially, and this is like not an immeasurable metric like views or money earned or likes and comments. However, the comments are the ones that stand out the most because they're most felt to me. When I started my fitness channel, for example, I got a lot of comments, not directly, but sometime later from people reaching out to me saying, Matt, you changed my life because of you I went to the gym. Because of you I lost weight. Because of you I gained weight. Because of you I found the discipline to build a schedule to improve myself. And I think those things really are the most important to me. And these can't be measured in views, in money. These are like people to people things. And I think that's beautiful. That's essentially what I'm really doing it for. It's like the person on the other side of the screen watching this, you know, either watching for entertainment, watching for inspiration, watching for distraction even, you know. You don't know what the other person that is watching is going through right now, but you may help them in a way that is indescribable. And I think that's very important. And on the other hand, you know, the views you get, the likes you get, the money you make from, you know, working on a YouTube channel or any project, obviously that's a nice reward, but that's like not essentially what you should be doing it for, what I should be doing it for, because it's not a sustainable thing. You obviously have to make the bare minimum to keep your head afloat in a business. That's kind of like my mindset towards getting back into YouTube. Having reached 400,000 subscribers on the MattCS channel, I felt like I've never really given it my all. Looking back at some of the videos I posted on the channel, CSGO Bunny Hopper versus Apex Legends, that's like probably one of my best videos. I just want to break that video. Like I want to do a better video than that. I know I can too. Like that's what I'm going to be working on, you know. I think it's going to be awesome and I'm excited to start like experimenting with a bunch of content edited by me, edited by my editor, obviously recorded by me, and you know, just a bunch of different things. And then ideally I would find a couple series, you know, on my channel that I could keep repeating as in content that could become rewatchable. I used to do the hide and seek series, which is something I'm bringing back. That is a video I'm uploading today. It is currently probably 9 a.m. Yeah, it is 9:17. I woke up at 8 and I'm posting the video at 4 p.m. today. Kind of excited for that. Hopefully it's gonna do well, but if not, it is what it is. Hey, I'm gonna keep pushing that. I'm gonna keep pushing that. And what else? Yeah, I don't know, bro. Gonna go to the gym today as well. But I think that is pretty much what I wanted to clear up in this video, you know. Why I've been gone, what I've been doing. It's not a gameplay video, but hey, it is what it is, bro. Sometimes you gotta do something different. I didn't feel like doing a gameplay video today.